All right, well, today we're going to be talking about all the different updates we did and then going through a little show and tell about the big change to positive pay and bank reconciliation, or we call it bank unreconciliation. To begin with, we did we changed the utility. There's a utility out there that we do that changes in an employee account number. Oh, I should probably go through the other steps. Hang on. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about, like I said, bank reconciliation and positive pay, the changes there. But first, we had a change that happened to, we have a utility there that you can renumber an employee, and it looked like that utility had a little problem with it. It didn't renumber the time cards that an employee did. So if you have ran that utility and you do have our automated time card system, please give us a call so we can fix those time cards that didn't get the new employee renumbering. Next is purchase order post. Let me jump into that real quick. Well, anyways, in purchase order post, we added a sort utility on the columns, or not purchase, in purchase order, we added the sort utility and cleaned up a few things in there for it to work a little smoother. So if you do use purchase orders, you should see that in the new update we just released. Oh, and if you didn't get the update, please rerun the update so you're running the right report for the bank reconciliation report. All right, so with no further ado, I'd like to jump right into the changes that we made to positive pay. The screen looks a lot different than what you normally would see. So in positive pay, you would see the, normally you had the 3 different types across the thing. So let's back up for a second, just so you can see what the new one screen looks like. It's a lot more user-friendly. But in order for positive pay to work, you're going to need to go back to your bank accounts, and on the bank accounts, there's now 2 new columns at the bottom here. You'll have to set what positive pay type or positive pay, the 3 different kinds that we had before, MI Cash, PNC, or Huntington, for the layout of positive pay. And then if you do pick the MI Cash, the positive pay miscellaneous field will need to be the 3-character bank ID that you used to set. And you used to set that in the chart of accounts. So if you have trouble with that, you can always call us. We can help you if you've already had positive pay set up. Otherwise, positive pay is pretty straightforward. Like I said, you just come into your bank account, select select the type of layout that the file needs to be in. And then running it is pretty straightforward. You just come into positive pay, you select which bank. Again, you can pick whether you just want payroll or accounts payable checks. This time we'll pick both. The date range, I got to go backwards a little bit in time because this is an older database. And now you click on the load check detail, and you are able to specify which checks you want to show up in positive pay. You don't have to show all of them. If for whatever reason, this absolute auto doesn't need to go to positive pay, you can remove it. And then when you click to create the positive pay, it asks you for the file name. And again, you try to put it into a separate folder so you can find the file and make sure you can upload it. I've got one here that I did. And basically just creates a positive pay file. It's really straightforward. It's really simple to use. I'm actually going to, we can go through it again, but like I said, the main thing is that in the new positive pay, you're able to select the checks that you want to send to your bank, and then you can simply click on the file, and just the checks you want can go to the bank. All right, so now I need to set back on the video screen so I can see the chat messages. Is any questions about positive pay and what we did to it for the setup or for running it? We do have, I should say, we did also update the video on positive pay. So if you watch the video, it'll go to a brand new YouTube video we just fixed up. So it has it. And then we did update the help system. So we do have a good description on the new positive pay, as you can see here. Okay, let's go to the next one that we modified, which is we did a big change to bank reconciliation that people have been wanting. So I'm going to go ahead and go into bank reconciliation. Okay, so first of all, the screen is very similar to what you had before. So if I'm going to reconcile my First National, my statement date is today, my starting balance and ending balance now can be zero. It's okay. So my current transactions are from 7/6 and 7/21. So let's, go ahead and reconcile a few of these transactions. And, everything was good. And my ending balance was 191. So I'll just do a negative 191, 26, tab. Oh, I had some depositors. So I got 34.45. So I got to add the 34.45 to it. So it really is negative 156. I'm just trying to get it to balance to zero. Because again, the difference being zero is what changes this button down at the bottom to reconcile. So I'm going to go ahead. We've got our bank set up. We did all of our changes to the things. We selected the checks which we wanted to reconcile. I'm going to click the reconcile. It's going to say, oh, there's a warning now that happens, which before I didn't use to change to reconcile when this was zero. It just says, hey, your starting balance is zero. While it's not common, it's not the end of the world. So if you really want it to be zero, you can still say yes here. And the message comes back a little bit wrong, and we just fixed that. So a little bit later today, that'll go out. But the update shows that you now reconcile, but then you come back and say, oh, I made a mistake. I didn't want to reconcile one of those transactions. I need to go back. So we have an unreconcile. And this is a new thing we've added. And so we need to go backwards in time to 5/1, find our transactions. And it'll show all the transactions since 5/1 to 11/30. And this last one to absolute auto, we do not want to reconcile. So to unreconcile, you uncheck it. And then you can say save the reconciled transactions. And again, the message is wrong, but it does do the save. So now if I go back to bank reconciliation and I look at my First National and I click on find transactions, I'll show the one I just unreconciled. Now, I know I went over that pretty quickly, but it's not that hard. It's pretty straightforward. And again, we've updated, just to let you know, we did make a brand new video for it. So if you want to watch that, and we did update the help on it to be very, 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 should be self-explanatory if you read through the help. So both systems are there. The video is a good video, and the help should be there. So I'm going to pop back over to my chat window. Okay, so I'm going to sit here for a minute to see if there's any questions about the bank reconciliation and bank unreconciliation. Nope, everybody's good. Looks like everybody's good on it. I'm not seeing anything in the chat for any messages. So I am going to move on to the sharing topic for today. Today's sharing topic was going to be the squeeze journal numbers. Again, this is a utility that some people didn't realize it was there and can be helpful. For instance, let's say we go into payables and we go to payable post and we look at my journal numbers. So it looks like in my journal numbers, I have 20, 12, and 8, which means, they're not very consecutive. And a lot of times you'll have a journal number that's sometimes way out of whack. So if I cancel that and I accidentally type in, 24, 32, whatever, for a journal number, and I create it, and I go ahead and, put a date in. I didn't realize I put that big number in, so I said okay, and I entered an invoice number of 123. Okay, the amount was $100. Sounds good. We go into distribution, edit, kick down, and we take it out of our cable franchise. Why not? We love cable franchise. So we take and we put the $100. We save that. We save this, and we go ahead and commit. And we say, cable. It doesn't really matter, but basically, then what happens now is if I do, if I say done and I go back into payables post, the next available journal number is this great big huge number because I accidentally typed in a very big number, and so they kind of get out of sequence in our system. So a lot of places have said, well, how do I get this back in range so it doesn't look so crazy? So the way to do that is with the squeeze journals. So we ask you for what source of entry, and right now we only allow you to do AP, invoice, inventory, and payroll journals at the moment. This is likely to get enhanced, but for right now, this is where we're at. So we're going to do the AP, and the highest journal number we want to retain. So this is what we're asking is when you have this big list of journal numbers, you might have from 0 to 2,000. Those are all good. You really don't want those to get squeezed or any of the numbers to be compressed out of it. But you want everything from 1,000 on. So you put in here the highest journal number retained is 1,000. So today's journal number is, we're just going to leave it 0. We're going to click OK. It asks you about a big long change. Then it does it. So if we close it and we sign in and we look at payables and we go to payables post, now when we look at the journal numbers, they're in consecutive order. There's pay journals in between here. That's why it doesn't look like. So there's a test and then a pay, there's a pay, and then, but basically that last one that was that great big huge long number is now journal number 6. So it's a utility out there that we want to make everybody aware of. It's very safe to use. Again, it's one of those utilities that when you do use it, we would like to make sure that everybody's out of the system. There is a video on it, so if you want to watch the video first to kind of see what's going on with it as well, to remind yourself before you run it, go right ahead and do it. The other one that we want to talk about is, oh wait, I should go back to my chat window to see if any questions have come up. Okay, so if there's any questions about squeeze journal numbers, we're going to cover one other utility. All right, so another one that's common that people use a lot is the change journal effective date. So this utility is going to get, there's one change that's going to happen to this utility coming up, but we have to, we still have to put it in. I'll cover that in a minute. But basically, this one lets you change the effective date on any kind of journal you wish to change. In other words, a lot of times you need to, modify something because you posted an invoice at the end of the month, but it was dated for the first of the next month, but you want it to be in the previous month. So let's again play with our AP journal number. Oh shoot, I had this, but we just renumbered the journals. Let's call it 6, I think. Okay, yep. So 6 has, everything was posted for 11/1 on 6, and I need to change that. So if there's multiple dates in here, you'll see many different dates because sometimes journals will have several different dates in them. And there's only one of those dates you need to modify. So if we change the effective dates, we can say, we can make that say 10, I can't type, 10/30. And as soon as I hit done, it will change the effective date. And if we come back here to our payables, And we come back into payables post and we load up journal 6, which we just did, and you'll see the effective date is now 10/30. So that's kind of the utility that I want to cover in general ledger for today, which is the change effective date. Now, the change we're going to be making to the change effective date, so it sounds funny, is we need to be able to specify there's inside these files, sometimes there's only one paycheck you need to modify. So we're going to be able to put something in here to say a line number in the journal. So if we look back at the only way to really get that correctly is if you look at it through payables. When you go into payable post again, we bring up journal 6. It's only got one. Maybe journal 4 has more than one. I just want to. Well, anyways, you come down here, you can see the journal line number. If you have several checks, you can click down here and see what check it is. And you can see what journal line number that the value of the date you'd want to change. That's what we're going to be adding, is the ability to just change one instead of, because right now, if you change anything from 7/6 to like 7/20, all of the 7/6s get changed to 7/20. And we want to be able to also specify if you choose a line number, if you want to, like if you just want this one, the credit entry to change, then you can certainly just change the credit entry. So pretty straightforward. Just like I said, we want to just enhance the utility a little bit. So again, that would be under general ledger, the change effective days. We're going to add not just journal number, but then another for journal line to change. And unfortunately, right now, we're not going to let you put a range of journal line numbers. It's just going to be line number by line number. So it could become tedious, but it's all we can do at this point if you didn't want to change all of the dates from one to another. Okay, well, that sounded sort of confusing. I'm going to go ahead and take myself back to chat messages to see about questions. Or you can unmute, either one. So does anybody have any questions whatsoever about change effective, journal effective dates? Okay, not seeing anything come across, but I'll wait just a second longer. All right, so now I'm open to, that's all I have for today. Those are the things I kind of wanted to cover. Is there anything else you guys somebody would like to see me go through? Is there any other big question you have on your mind? Go ahead and type it in or unmute yourself and ask it. I'm here for that.
George, I'm going to have one on direct deposit for Huntington Bank.
Okay.
But I can wait till the end when everybody else is gone if nobody else is interested in it.
Well, I could cover it. We have a thing for Huntington Bank that we've kind of put together. So Huntington's, for if we come into bank accounts, everybody was looking for what to set up for direct deposit for a Huntington. This is just like if you go into the new help for bank accounts that we put together. This was basically just what was set up for that. But for Huntington, we need to have in here, if you do have Huntington, what you want to do is go in the direct deposits for these. The main thing that is the Huntington does not want a 627. They do not want the blocking. The routing number down here is minus the last character of they have a 10-digit routing number that you put up here in your immediate destination. And then the routing number that goes here is minus the last character. And the routing number here is minus the last character. They didn't have a reference code, if I remember right. They have a special name for the immediate destination name. It's like Huntington NTLL Bank. They should have given you that in a email document. The company identification and the immediate origin name. No, I'm sorry. In the immediate origin and the company identification should be a value that you got from them, from Huntington. It's a 10-character value, 10-character long string of numbers that they have given you. That should be, what has come in. They should have also given you a company name, which is going to be like, I don't know who asked the question, but if it was, let's just say it was Roscommon, it would be like, Ross, it could be Roscommon, CNTY, ROAD or something, whatever 16 characters will hold, they'll give you that. And that goes also in the immediate origin name. So both these two are usually the same, even though one's only 16 and one's 23. I believe the company discretionary data is left blank, but if you call me, I can, go over what I have without sharing the screen. But if I look at it right now on my machine, you're going to see it.
Well, I have everything pretty much that you said, except for the immediate destination name was different than what you said. And I'm not sure if anybody else on the webinar today needs this information. So is the box include credit entry in the file that I need to uncheck?
Yes, you uncheck that. I do not want that.
Okay.
Basically what that does is it just makes the whole thing zero balance. In other words, like if you're paying $22,000 in pay to people, it puts a record out there that says take $22,000 out of my bank account. So the amount in the total file becomes zero. But they don't want that, because they say they do that and they already make that record for you internally.
That's what I'm seeing.
But it's not that hard. I mean, they're pretty, actually Huntington's one of the better ones when they try to get on their support. I've been told that you actually talk to somebody who knows the difference. When you say immediate destination, they know what that is, because all of these titles, while they may sound like we made them up, they're really part of the ACH file header specification. So it's ACH is it's part of not the NAACH thing for North America. Okay, so what I was saying is all these titles and things come right from the ACH documentation. So the banks, if they have a person who knows what those are, they should be able to recognize those names and be able to help you fill those in as well. So there shouldn't have to be any kind of like cross communication. Like, we did not come up with originating DFI identification. In other words, that's right from the documentation of ACH. Frank did say he tried the purchase order sort. I don't have purchase orders on my machine, so I couldn't show it, but he says it's pretty slick and he likes it and it's going to be helpful for him.
You are now working smarter with ProFund Accounting. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.